Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue to unpack supposedly ocean. Well, not supposedly. It's pretty much ocean industrial age concept because these are two character Chinese translation of Western concepts. Things like politics that we talked about yesterday, and today we're going to talk about government and Chinese, not Chinese, Japanese scholars did the first swipe, and then we inherited that. This you can see from 政治 versus 政府. They share the political part and what the government is about. It's a political political power that they have a house, right? Place they conduct their business, national affairs to local, regional, cases. There are some proceedings there. So we actually add this local government image next to the political. So political, local government. Because China, ancient times, we have 朝廷, which is the emperor's business, emperor's office. Just imagine the big forbidden city thing, right? Several layers. It's hard to even see the emperor, of course. You have to reach a certain rank to be able to interface with the emperor. And that's a central government, the ultimate decision maker. And then fu are the regional, local level government. So we can see them as representatives or outlet of power that they can execute the decisions made by the central government, I mean the emperor, and then interact with the local population. So that's what this prefecture is about. They share the political concept, but a Japanese use this local political execution, executive branch, okay, use today's term, as what government is about. Because to regular folks, you and me, we have no way to interact with the central power there. It's for everyday people, it's the prefecture they interact with. Like, I don't know, DMV, driver's license plates, all that are government agencies. And in ancient times, they have ancient, I guess, similar things that local government proceed some of your requests, I guess, a lease, license, things like that, civil cases. So that's what Fu was about. And Japanese scholars pick this local outlet of power as what government is about. I think that is a good choice because it applies to everyday people. When we see Fu, we know that's representing and actually interfacing with the majority of the population. Okay, again, what 政 political is about. We have the orientation of your right foot orienting toward either skyline or horizon, meaning you're facing a certain direction. You're facing it correctly, actually, that you are going to the right destination. So this orienting, we use directional sense, spatial sense, to denote our value priority almost, right? How, as a culture, as a population, to orient. So it's almost like the shared story, either your origin story or American dream, a Chinese dream, whatever vision you want to share with the population. That is the mind control part. If we, use it in a dark word, but in a positive word would be, what's your, what's your vision for this land? What's your dream, right? What's the inspiration? So everybody orient toward the same goal. The right side is your behavior. So it's kind of a law and order equivalent of today's terms. How to express that? The Chinese use three-finger hand symbol, holding this fortune telling tool. And eventually it doesn't necessarily mean fortune telling. It can expand to any kind of tools that humans invented to amplify our power. Beyond, I mean, even a fortune telling tool, isn't that a power? Whoever are telling you what's going to happen kind of give you the script of how your life are going to unfold. Don't you think that person is holding the key to regulate your behavior, right? So whatever tool that hand is holding, it has power over people. And in the context of political, it almost means set up some rules. And if you step out of line, you're going to be punished. So the right side, we can view it as body control, your physical existence, how you behave. And then the left side is the mind control. So two ways of controlling you. I say it probably came out as a little bit evil of what this political is about. But think about it. It's almost like a necessity. How does big population of diverse interests, I mean, gender, in gender, age, right? Everybody came off with their different needs. How to control them? That is something challenging to every society. So this Chinese experience, this zhong came from that classical China era when this one emperor figured out how to control the whole population in a big piece of land. And this is what they boil down to, what this zhong is about. It's orient people together and have a certain law and order, execute behaviorally, constrain people's behavior so that the whole population under your rule can be ruled, basically. Otherwise, it's like unrulable, right? So this is political since the ancient time, like at least the 2,000 years, generations of dynasties or generations of rulers have been practicing that. Versus fu, okay, is the place, the location, the exact architecture where the proceedings of the government or the law and order was conducted. So it was a semi-public place. We know that because this shelter only covered half of the side and the roof and half of the side. The other half is facing the public. So it's a semi-private, semi-public place. The left side here in it, this one is a human figure. And we know, I mean, it took me some time to figure out the Chinese is a left forwarding versus English is right forwarding. So that's a different orientation. For Chinese, the going forward visually expressed on this 2D frame would be facing the left versus the number line in English would be the bigger numbers are toward the right, right? So the two cultures just arbitrarily decide which way they're going. And the leftward forwarding person is the regular human figure orientation. If we do this, that means something pause. That person is not facing forward. So this is facing forward, regular person. The 3-finger hand symbol, you see here, repeated icons there. 3-finger right hand symbol, plus this one horizontal line there. This is ancient pulse reading practice. So doctor to patient diagnostic practice in Chinese medicine back then, before the invention of all the fancy, expensive, sometimes hurtful, I mean, think about the mammogram machines. That was invented. It's a human to human diagnostic practice. So this 1 inch down your wrist, every Chinese who had ever been a patient would know what that means. And that means you measured, right? You have to be very measured doing things. Eventually, it expands to all kinds of practices, not just pulse reading anymore. So this measured plus human figure together, it means you entrusting something or you're giving something over to another person, hand over to somebody. And this measured plus human almost like give you a clue of how to interact with human to human interaction. Need to have some measured practice so that you can, I guess, have some terms, have some transactions there. So that is a fair handover. It's a give and take to both parties, right? So this measured human practice under the semi-public place denote what a prefecture looks about. So it's kind of a measured human practice under that semi-covered dome. That's prefecture. Political prefecture is Japanese scholars' translation of what government looks like. Well, this one, because I searched like the Capitol Hill, that's a symbol, and we know this is kind of the ultimate political power. It doesn't look like your local government, but I guess I should put a DMV picture over there. But DMV is not exactly government, right? It doesn't serve any other function than the transportation regulations. But this is the symbol today. If we think about government, probably this is. But for Chinese, just want to point out, this is a regional, local level to local population interface level of government. There you go, 政府